We're ready to go then, 250s and 650s. This is really all about the Super Twins. We're on board with Man of the Week, I suppose, Dean Harrison.
Yeah, the lights go out and we're on board. Dean Harrison. It looks like James Cowton has got the whole shot, as they call it, as they go up the bypass for the very first time in this race towards Ballycagan.
Commentators curse strikes Dean Harrison at the get-go, but he's trying to make up a bit of ground now, but he did lose the impetus on the start line.
Adrian Harrison in third place on bike 32. Davey Morgan's also up there in the distinctive pink helmet on bike 71. But look at this, James Cowton acceleration from him on the way down to Iron Gate out of Ballycagan for the very first time. Adrian Harrison having a look at Dean Harrison. Dean Harrison looking over his shoulder and having a look at Adrian Harrison.
650s almost as powerful and exciting as the 600, more reliable and dependable than the 250 two-strokes, which they really have replaced now, and just starting to be not quite as cheap and accessible as they were to begin with.
James Cowton certainly doesn't look too accessible at the moment. He's trying to pull away from the Harrison boys. Everyone else, just look how many there are now, how this class has grown in the 4 or 5 years that it's been around.
You know, Ryan Farquhar is going to be remembered for an awful lot of things when you look back on that 200 win career and all the rest of it. But this little brainwave actually may well be his best legacy for road racing, because these are a lot of fun to ride. They are still cheap and still very cheerful compared to running a 250.
What a move from Davey Morgan through there on the right-hand side, down through the bomb hole. Wow, you don't see that very often at Ballown. Into cross four ways. Cowton with Harrison closing in now, looking very menacing in second place. Good power from Harrison on the outs, on the exit of the turns. They go up to Church Bends.
Well, Davey Morgan, a comparatively new recruit to Super Twins, but it's fair to say I think he's got the hang of it now, as well as he has everything else he's been doing. But these two in a class of their own at the front. James Cowton has made the break, but he hasn't made the getaway, has he?
No, not quite. He seems to have the power, though, doesn't he, on the straight line speed. He just seems to have a little bit more, perhaps, than Harrison does. We're on board with Cowton going into Stadium Bend. Slows, flicks it left.
A little bit of a wobble on and out to the curb. Now, the big right turn. Stand it on its nose, tip it in. That was nice and fluid for both of them. Coming in behind there, Adrian Harrison. Then it's that 24 bike with Dean Osborne, and then it was Davey Morgan.
Yep, but we're back with Dean Harrison. So over the line they go. Cowton will top the leaderboard on the time charts. Harrison in second, Adrian Harrison back in third.
He is closer, there's no two ways about it. He is definitely closer there than he was along the back. So whether he's closed up or whether there's a little seesaw going on between the two, as you say, bit of difference in speed between them on the straights.
Good gaggle of riders here battling away, but we're back with the front two again. Harrison trying to close, he'll try and close in on the brakes into Iron Gate. It's such a nasty little right-hand corner, this, isn't it?
It's not a place where you want to have to make up time, is it? It's a place where you can make up time if you're feeling creative, but needing to do it there, it's not your best place. Over the washboard coming up to the head. Look at that. All over the place. James Cowton, the front end of that is nodding up and down. Dean Harrison a little bit tidier through there. But he is very much the man. Oh, speaking of untidy.
Dean Osborne.
He's very much the man of the week at the moment, Dean Harrison. It's all been going his way, and he can ride out of his skin, apparently. He's just suddenly unlocked whatever it is that makes him get the bike to do what he wants, rather than him hanging on for the ride and letting it do what it wants. I know what we're going to see here. Look at that.
Yeah, the James Cowton all over the place, the bike crossing up.
Dean Harrison behind doing the same thing. That is a tough part of the circuit, and this is a tough corner as well.
Maybe, no. Yes!
He left it that late, didn't he? Neither of us thought he was going to get through there. Can he get the drive out of the corner though, or will James Cowton use that extra power?
I think he's got to favour Cowton, hasn't he? And look at that, over the line they go. I think Cowton's just had his front wheel maybe just ahead of Dean Harrison. Hard to tell there.
He's not going to give up easily, is he? Dean Harrison, he's got track position coming up towards Ballycagan, and it is going to be Dean Harrison, is it? He's easing James Cowton over to the other side of the road.
Well, we know what it's going to be about this race now, don't we? Cowton's got the speed, but Harrison has the craft. Proper racing.
That's what 650 Super Twins are all about. That was a lot of fun for both of those. Although I think Dean Harrison wanted to get the job done and stay clear. Now he's got to do it all again, and he's shown James Cowton some, if not all, of the cards in his hand, hasn't he?
He is, and I think also there's a bit of psychological going on as well. He's showing to James Cowton, I'm prepared to have a go. Yep. You know, if you're up for the fight, then bring it on. If not, get out of the way.
Just shows you how close to the edge they are riding. They make it look easy. These boys got sedate by comparison. It looks easy, and it's so tempting to think, I could do that, but you watch and see how close to the edge they are. It doesn't take much to put it in a slide, and they just ride through it and carry on. I'd get off, have a walk round, cup of tea, get it back on. They just race on.
So always in front of him, Morgan ahead of Osborne. Just behind them is 22, Michael Russell, the newcomer.
Yes, I think Davey Morgan really is liking this Super Twin category.
Yeah, a two-stroke stalwart, hasn't he? 250s especially. Oh, Cowton taking it right out and a little bit more.
Will he have lost a little bit of drive there? That is Davey Morgan on a charge.
Yes, they're just getting a little bit of air, aren't they? Dean Osborne just behind him as well.
There's no nice way to come over that rise, is there? Just no nice comfy way to do that. Is Dean Harrison going to do it again?
No, Cowton's got it covered. Dean Harrison may be saving that one again for a later date, but it all depends really. What he needs to do, Dean Harrison, is perhaps try and get in front, because this is where he loses out to James Cowton, doesn't he?
I think if he can get past at Castletown Corner on the last lap, he could just about nail the run to the flag.
Exactly, but what he can't, he needs to be in that position behind James Cowton to be able to do that. He won't be if he loses out on the straight, as we see here. Yeah. He needs to close up on the brakes. He's got to be big on the brakes into these turns and get back on Cowton's case.
Yeah, he's having a little think about where to put the frighteners on him next, because he's done it everywhere else. But James Cowton, as we see Davey Morgan still heading up this trio, although, yes, he's thinking about that one, isn't he? And I think he's done it. Here we go, back to these two. This is, I think, James Cowton really cooked his own goose coming up to the hairpin last time. Sneaked through there, didn't he?
Yep, Osborne is ahead of Morgan as they go into Ballycagan, now into Ballybeg. This is where we see Cowton hop, skipping and jumping his way into the turn.
Yes, he did that before and gave Dean Harrison a chance to close right up and get a bit of drive out of the corner. Harrison was up, there's three of them at it now.
Yeah, this is the battle for fourth place. Adrian Harrison just ahead of them in third.
Davey Morgan back out in front for the time being, ahead of Dean Osborne as we ride with Dean Harrison. Still second, didn't get the run on Cowton along here.
Still close enough though, isn't he?
Yeah, he is definitely close enough to have a little think about cross four ways, isn't he?
Yeah, cross four ways is good. He won't get through at Church Bends. He will lose out on power down to Great Meadow. He might just close in at Stadium Bend, and then Castletown Corner is where he's going to try and take him now then. He's going to tuck him behind, keep the power up as much as he can, get as much momentum, as much speed on the exit of that turn as he goes up towards Church Bends. That looked good for Dean Harrison. Back to this battle for fourth place, still in the hands of Morgan. Osborne just behind him. And of course it's Michael Russell, 22, enjoying himself for the first time here at Ballown.
Those three are swapping places. It's really just a question of who's in front when the checkered flag gets thrown, isn't it, for those three?
That's right.
And for these two, it's a question of who's got the determination to make it work and make it stick.
Now then, Harrison, we've got to see Cowton coming bigger in the picture now as they go into the turn, don't we?
Yeah, he's really got to break this one very late, and this time Dean Harrison goes wide. He hasn't tried that before. Is he trying to get the run here?
Maybe. I think also Cowton was more central in the road this time, wasn't he? A very defensive line from Cowton there as they came into Castletown Corner. Now back on the power, last lap, 1 lap to go.
That's going to win in the race if he can do that again, isn't it? If he can keep Dean Harrison behind him all the way round when they get to Castletown Corner, that one will win him the race. He got the run out of the corner to the checkered flag, that will work. But Dean Harrison has got a couple of corners. Davey Morgan still leads. Oh no, he nearly took that one, didn't he?
Yeah, Dean Osborne, big moment for him there. Now then, here we go, Dean Harrison and James Cowton. We've had 3 winners of Super Twin races at Ballown. Ryan Farquhar was the first. Jamie Hamilton, who should have been here but is missing through injury. Dean Harrison won last year.
Didn't he, Dean Harrison?
Yeah, but will we see James Cowton add his name to the list of winners? 2010 was the first time we saw Super Twins around Ballown.
Let's see what James Cowton does through here. He's got that nicer this time than ever before. Harrison is still neater through there, and just that power pulling him away. This is looking good for Cowton. I think that James Cowton has got this one done and dusted. Davey Morgan's looking very strong now, isn't he?
Yeah, Michael Russell just behind him.
And behind that, I think he's probably just getting his breath back now.
Yes. So here we go. Now then, perhaps Harrison would be wanting to get ahead at cross four ways and then try and defend if he can. I don't know if he can do that pass through Great Meadow.
Look, if he was in front going into Great Meadow, he's got a decent chance of staying there. But is he going to go through here? He's not that close, is he?
No.
But he's brave enough to try, and watch him now as he tips it in and gasses it up.
He has to get on the gas. He has to be behind his Cowton. Cowton will get breakaway at Great Meadow, but then he's slow for Stadium Bend, and that's where Harrison can gain a little bit and maybe gain a little bit more. That was third place we just saw going past our Adrian Harrison. This is the moment of truth for Dean Harrison. He's right in the slipstream of James Cowton. This is good. He's as close as he can be, so that will be helping for slipstreaming. But he has to try and make the move at Castletown Corner.
They are so close. This is going to be a passing attempt. He pulls out the slipstream.
Looks good for Harrison, this, because he's so close to Cowton. If he can get through on the brakes through here, it's all about Cowton having to defend the lead from Harrison as they go down into Castletown Corner for the very last time. Cowton keeps it central. Harrison's got the inside, is he?
Done it.
Can he turn it in time?
Oh, did you see that slide?
But the power from Cowton. We've got the power from Cowton now as well. He's drawing him alongside. There's the finish line. It's going to be side by side as they go across the line. Oh, I think Harrison's just done it. I think Harrison has just beaten James Cowton.
So close, wasn't it? Those two have just treated us to the race of the week, and it is Dean Harrison. Look at that, 0.001 of a second is the gap between them. Astonishingly close.
Mint race, can't complain. Everything was good fun. To be fair. I was sat in his slipstream for a full race really, and because I passed him once, but then he just passed me back on straight. So I thought, right, I'll stick to the slipstream. Passed him inside the last corner, he beat me to the line, out-dragged me to the line. So that's good race. Can't complain.
Yeah, I don't know what's quite going on there, but hopefully, obviously, I think we've won, but they seem to be putting the bike in second place. So I don't know what's happened there. My name came up first in the transponder, but according to me, it looks like both of us won it to me.